What's up, beach volleyball fans? Joey Musselman here with Game Sense. Got another recap video for you. My bad, meant to do this last night and did not. Pool play has already started. I won't do any spoilers. I watched some games, but not a ton. But this is kind of getting into a bigger project where I want to be able to talk about pretty much every team that is playing all the time. I'm gonna have future plans to do a video where I go through all the 50 top teams, but this European Championship that's happening this weekend is a good excuse to see at least all the European teams, and then I'll just have to clean up on some of the other teams from the Americas and Asia. But without further ado, getting into European Championships. Boom. Never mind. Boom. All right. So just gonna go through pools here. So Ehlers Wüst, Louis Wüst, Super Louis Wüst. Wow, what a tournament in Hamburg. I'm calling them the David and Goliath team. I'm sure someone's already said it, but Niels Ehlers, huge. Louis Wüst, 6'1", which isn't really that small, but small for volleyball terms. Um, they're just so fun to watch. I didn't really. I think they busted out in Stade. They lost to the eventual winners, so it's not really busting out. I'm pretty sure they lost to um, or not winners, silver medalists, Crab and Buttinger in pool play or some other American team. Um, but obviously got Hölting Nilsson and Andersson, who lost to Ehlers Wüst in Hamburg. So it will be interesting to see. The crowd was definitely a factor in that game. So interesting to see here. And then sleeper threat, not even sleeper, Andre Perisic just randomly showing up for tournaments every once in a while. Coming in with Dazo Dazovornok. Um, not really sure about him as a blocker. I think I've watched some of their games. They were playing in. Were they playing? No, I think no, they played in something after Ostrava. I'm not remembering though. Then Horst Dressler. This is one that I need to know better. This is an Austrian team. That's the Austrian flag, right? I need to know more about. So, like I said, seems like this is going to be an important one. I'm sure Sweden's going to collect some data, and Hamburg or the Germans are not going to have the Hamburg crowd behind them. So this will be an interesting rematch here in pools. That Perisic matchup could go a lot of different ways too. They could as they could end up winning the pool, and I wouldn't be surprised. Andre Perisic is kind of just nasty like that. All right, Pool B: Åhman and Hellvig, Elazar, Kosmikov, Fredely and Jordan, and Pedros and Campos. So I'll say about something of each of them. On Hellvig, obviously, jump setting superstars, just won most recently in Ostrava. I don't think they've been to anything since then. They didn't go to Rio. They didn't do Hamburg. So yeah, taking some tournaments off, but they are back. Fredely and Jordan, younger team. Fredely is very tall, good serve. Jordan, quick, snappy. Then Pedrosa and Campos. Portugal, both undersized, but they run some routes, good vision. Kind of reminds me of the Argentinian team, Amos and I'm sure I'm saying the names wrong, but undersized, but make up for it with creativity, which is fun to watch. Elazar Kuzmakov, they had a deep run at I think Stade. They got definitely won at least one or two games in the elimination. Didn't make it to semis, but or did they? Maybe they. I gotta look up their results. But anyway, hit the ball really hard, big, aggressive. Have some jump set stuff going on. Powerful team. I always think of them power. Yeah, and then Alman and Helvig. So this will be an interesting one. I forget who Elazar and Kuzmakov beat, but they did some. They have some good result that makes you think they could maybe do something about this Swedish team. Haven't played in a while. All right, on to Pool C. Sørum, obviously looking real good. Made it to finals and lost finals to a German team. What? Yeah, that was crazy in Hamburg. What? And missed the three-peat too, which is a bummer. I didn't really watch too much of them in Hamburg. I think they looked good. Louis Vuce was just like really a monster, and then Niels Ehlers was also is just I think, and the crowd is tough to beat him. Um, Chuk and Genevieve Gardoc. Super fun team to watch. High flyers, similar, like really good passers. Game can get away from them though. Trousil and Schweiner. Schweiner, just good around the net. Good blocker. What else? Good size, intelligent, sides out well. I don't know a lot about Trousil, but another good Czech team. And then I know nothing about this Polish team at the bottom. I'm gonna try to say the names. Chorowski, Chazar Chorowski, and Krezemensky. I don't know much about them, but we are in Stare Jabłonki, which is Polish, so expect maybe some Polish upsets here. I think Mull and Sørum are going to kind of roll here. Not as interesting as Pool B. Pool D. Okay, we've got Plavins, Fokerots. Coming off you would have thought they, especially after winning in Rio, expect them to come into Hamburg looking pretty good, but they lost to the German team. The Wüst, the David and Goliath lost to them too. They really went on a tear in Hamburg. Waller Pristauz, we'll see this in a sec, but Waller Pristauz actually beat Plavins Fokerots in pool play. Yeah, in Saquarema earlier this season. So keep an eye on that one. Waller or Plavins Fokerots are a nasty team. Henning Fessencher. I watched a little bit of them in Hamburg. I think they're just kind of standard good volleyball. We saw talks in Hamburg as well, I believe. Don't really remember much about that team though. Another one I need to do some research on. But yeah, here's that Waller Pristauz. And this is a close one. So expect a little bit of revenge from Plavins Fokerots surging recently. Man, they always put these two French teams together. Bummer. But Dabasaye. Is this real? Yeah, I feel like it's gotta be. So yeah, two French teams. Dabasaye coming off silver in Rio. Uh, Looking good when they're on, and when they're off, they are off. But they jump high, they dig well, play really good defense. Remy Bassero touches everything, jumps super high. Inside out, they both hit the crap out of the ball, but can slow it down when they need to. Rotar and Gauthier Ra. Teo Rotar, excellent blocker. Whenever I think of him, I always think of his blocks at the World Championship last year. There's a couple of sets where he just like caught on fire, got some really, really important blocks near the end of games. So very clutch, I'd say those two. Sepka Sedlak, Yuji Sedlak went all the way to silver at Ostrava behind or in front of Andrej Perisic. Sepka looks good. Definitely some inexperience with him and he's a little bit more volatile. Sedlak really is. I wish that him and Perisic would stay together because they're really good. But I think what's going on is Perisic is trying to bring up a bunch of the younger blockers, and Sedlak's just, already good enough. They're not trying to win tournaments. The Czech Federation is trying to build stuff. Then another Polish team here, Beta and Besabarb. Lots of Polish representation. Good for them. Yeah, like I said, I feel like these two are always playing all the time. Let's see. So yeah, they played in semis. This doesn't have, no, it does have Rio there. Yeah, so they played in semis at Rio and Davos and I won. Looks like earlier in the year they played at Brasilia and Saquarema, and it is tied 2-2 there. So expect some interesting stuff out of these French duo. There are two teams. All right, Pool F. We got Boermans and Brouwer, one Stad gold. Looked good in Hamburg. I forget who they lost to, but the Groot and Van de Velde, I think, are looking slightly better as of late. I think they won the head-to-head in when we were in Hamburg. Mole and Bernstein, I keep waiting for them to have their moment. Mole, not quite his brother, but good. A little slower. Bernstein gets a lot of good digs, but I feel like they just don't. Something missing. They don't have that, zhuzh. But they always do well. But they don't push through the good that they do. I'm sure they'll make it to elimination and they'll make it out of pools and then lose. So always rooting for them, but they tend to not really exceed expectations. Heidrich and Hausner. I know Heidrich is a really big Swiss blocker. I don't know a ton about Hauser. And we got another Polish team at the bottom. Ciemachowski and Taldul. First meeting between these two. Interesting. All right, and then we got the headliner Polish team here, Łosiak, Bryl. They left Hamburg because of an injury, or they missed at least one game. Oh no, York de Groot was injured. Something happened with the Polish team, so hopefully they're healthy and ready to perform on home turf. Um, Dillier and Flukiger. I'll switch into the end, but yeah, I'll go back to the Italian. Codafava and Del Corso, always want them to do well. Love watching them. You know the drill. Washing machine and dryer. Bello Brothers, I think they're kind of past their prime. We'll see depending on what happens, but I haven't seen any very good results from recently. Another undersized team. Got to get creative with all these big blockers, which I'm pretty sure Flukiger is a very large blocker. No, it's Leo Dilly. No. Dilly is the blocker? I don't know, man. There's too many teams to keep track of. Pool H. We've got Van de Velde Groot, which is definitely leading this one up. I'm pretty sure De Groot said he was injured. They're saying De Groot didn't play in the bronze medal match in Hamburg because of an injury, so hopefully he's okay. Hamburg and Berger made it, so this battle of two fourth placers there. Hamburg and Berger got fourth in Rio, looking really good at the jump set. We will see if they can put on that sort of pressure on Van de Velde Groot. A good test for them to see if they can do something in the rest of the tournament. I would love them to see them do really well. I'm always rooting for Hamburg and Berger. I think they're fun. They're super young. I think they're like 21 and 22. Like, it's absurd that there's just so much youth in the sport right now. You forget about teams like them. And then we got Sagsutter and Vinter. I feel like these German teams just kind of blend together in my head. I need to figure out more what is identifiable about them. I'm sure there's going to be some more German Pro Tour content on here. After seeing in Hamburg what their production quality and stuff is, I would love to figure out what's going on over there. It seems like it's something interesting. So maybe a video about that in the future. And then another Polish team just hacking on the end of the pool. Don't know them. All right, that's a lot of pools, but things to watch. So this is not a points ranking event, obviously. Stare Jabłonki. Uh, what it is, though, it's not for World Tour or like Beach Volleyball World Tour. It does get you a spot into LA 2028. So this is kind of a big deal. If you win here, obviously you're still going to play, but you do not need to worry about getting in. So some of these countries that have a lot of teams, talking about the Dutch, talking about the French, talking about, I don't know how it works, but Sweden probably wants to make sure they get one of their top two in the world teams in for sure. And the other one can get in, however. What are the other deeper fields? I mean, Austria's got two teams, Waller Pristauz and Hamburg Berger. I'm sure I'm blanking on another big federation. Australia's got a couple of good teams now, but obviously not Australia here. But anyway, for some of those big teams, it's important to maybe get one of those if you want multiple Olympic representations here, and it just takes the pressure off. And we learned from Plavins, Fokerots, and Rio, sometimes taking the pressure off is really the thing to do. Okay, so for Elite 16 champions, I don't think so. We've got Åhman, Hellvig, Hölting Nilsson, Brouwer, Boermans, Plavins, Fokerots. Sørum also won this year. I don't know why. So that's 5. Van de Velde Groot has not won this year. So that's 5 elite champions, all in one, which is super fun. I don't think we were missing. Who are we missing? We're missing Sweden and Hamburg. Basically, we haven't had all of them in the same place at once. since Sakurama, maybe the big three were there. Anyway, Pool A. So yeah, we talked about Ehlers, Wüst, and Hölting Nilsson, Andersson in that one. That'll be a fun rematch. And there's a bunch of other. Let's see who else is in there. A bunch of other good teams in there. I think it's A or B, which are the nastiest. Yeah, Pristauz here could, like I said, could take this. And yeah, those two. I think yeah, Pool A has probably got the craziest one. All right, and then last but not least, so Perisic and Dvornak. Obviously, haven't played a lot. Trousil and Schweiner, new team. Waller Pristauz, new team. Boermans, Brouwer, Velde, Groot. Lots of shuffling going on above the Olympic cycle, ahead of the Olympic cycle. A bunch of the teams have gotten some touches together, so just a fun all-around tournament for everyone. All right, if you made it this far to the end, thanks for listening. Let me know your thoughts if you have any thoughts, and I think I'm going to try to post some reels this week, so keep an eye out for upsets. All right, bye. Never mind. All right, bye.